PNC has the ability to colour code dwellings for different reasons. In this example, we are applying a colour to the dwelling based on services used. First, we find the dwelling we wish to apply the colour coding to. From the summary page, we can then go to Edit and Dwelling. Once we get to the dwelling front sheet, double-click on the address. From here, we select Colour. These options can be set in Configure, but for this example, we have two options, Basic or Assistive Technology. In this one, we have selected Assistive Technology, and as you can see, it has turned blue. After selecting an audit reason and clicking OK and refreshing the page, we can see that blue boxes now appear on the summary page. This is how the dwelling would present to call operators. On this summary page, we can also see keywords that contain important information for the call operators. And in this example, we have made the first one urgent and is clearly displayed in red. On management reports, we can search by keywords, as displayed here. The Service Manager application is web-based and can be used anywhere with an internet connection. From the Service Manager home screen, select the Inventory tile. To create a stock item, first the manufacturer needs to be created. Check to ensure the manufacturer name exists. In this example, Apple already exists. The Add button could be used to easily create a manufacturer name. Next, an appropriate stock type, which is a category of stock, needs to exist. Again, check to ensure the stock type exists. If not, use the Add button to create one. In this example, Dispersed Alarm is already created. At this point, we are ready to create our new stock item. A third-party item has been chosen, as all Tunstall stock items are already created. Check the list to see if the item already exists before selecting the Add button. The Add Stock screen appears, and the user navigates down the screen entering information: scope, manufacturer, and stock type. In the stock field, the name of the stock item is entered. Additional month periods can be added for warranty period, battery life, etc. Select the Save button when all information is entered. The screen returns to the stock screen, where the new stock item can be seen and edited as required. From the Service Manager home screen, select the Inventory tile, followed by the Stores tile. A status of a stock item can only be in stock, in use, and reserved. Anything else needs to be managed using Stores as a location. In this example, a deleted stock store will be created. Select the Add button. Select a scope and enter a store name. This will be a parent store, as we would not want any stock allocated from this store. Address information is optional. And finally, select Save. The Add button will be selected again to add a faulty store and a return to supplier store. You can see in the list these stores created. Returning to the inventory menu, the next step is to transfer stock into these newly created stores. Select the Stock Transfer tile. Part of a serial number will be searched for a MyME that can't be used anymore. The barcode can also be scanned if required. The item is selected in the results. Scrolling down, the deleted stock store destination is selected. Finally, Save selected. From the Service Manager home screen, select the Inventory tile, followed by the Goods In tile. Manual option is for bulk loading stock without serial numbers and barcodes. Third Party is for barcode scanning third-party products. And Tunstall barcode is a barcode scanning Tunstall products, which will be shown in this example. Select Tunstall barcode scan. Select a destination store for the new stock. An owner of the stock can also be recorded. At this point, stock items can be scanned. 3 MyMEs and 1 Smart Hub is scanned in. Select Save to finish. To show new items booked into their new store location, navigate back to Inventory and select the Search Stock tile. It is possible to scan items here, but in this example, I will search for the store to demonstrate all items being in the correct store. The serial number column is sorted to show the items. From the View Stock screen, stock items can be edited further, and to see the stock history of the item. Stock history is gathered automatically, capturing the locations where the equipment has been and in what capacity. This is tracked by the serial number, not the ident number. On opening Management Reports, you will see a comprehensive list of reports located on the left-hand side of the screen. To the left of each report, you will see a small arrow that, when selected, will show the drop-down list in each section. Here we can view all the reports available in PNC. Further to this, there is a full selection of unique reports located in Service Manager, available to the user as well. To enable the user to run a report and to export in various formats, Word, Excel, PDF, others, select a report you require. This will open the second screen, Report Criteria. Options can be selected for a relative date. In total, there are 7 relative dates to choose from. The relative dates will instantly run reports within their given times, but can also be used to schedule reports. When selecting the date icon, you will see two times appear, a start date and an end date. You can change day, month and time manually or by using the drop-down arrow key located next to the time banners. You can alter the day, month and time using the display. Moving on to the filters located underneath the relative date or date, you will see in this report we have 9 boxes, highlighted in blue. Normally, region and control center are preset, but all other filters can be selected or deselected. Once you are happy you have selected the right filters for your report, you can select Run Report, located at the bottom of the screen in the Report Criteria window. The relevant report data will be produced in a third window named Report Execution. From this window, using the Export tab located in the top banner, you can export your report to any relevant program you have allocated to PNC from the Microsoft suite available. For the first example, we can export to Excel. For the second example, we can export to PDF. These are not exclusive, and other programs can be used to export your data. Once you have saved your selected report, you can close the application and return to PNC Reports. If you have finished all the reports you wish to generate, select the Close All button located at the bottom of the Report Execution box. The technician is currently working in a change request to remove a flood detector. These are the equipment items. Locate the flood detector and select the ellipsis and select Deallocate Stock Item option. The Deallocate screen appears. The technician's Vehicle 1 store is selected, followed by the Confirm button. The screen returns to the change request and the flood detector can be seen as deallocated. The technician scrolls down the screen to Tasks and marks the only task as completed. Then scrolls down further to complete the request. Upon exiting the request is now closed. A call has been received via PNC and it has been decided a visit is required to change a faulty pendant. The user selects the Service Manager tab to navigate to the service user's service agreement. Service agreement displays and the operator navigates to requests. The operator selects the Add Request button to add a change request. The operator can record some information as required. Priority: this is changed to urgent. Assigned, responsible, and a next action date can be recorded as required. a default task of maintenance appointment is chosen for the operator. This will be the work item for the technician. The operator needs to select a cause, which is the maintenance reason. Fault is selected. An optional comment is recorded so that all looking at this request will know what is happening. Stock information is also visible. The operator selects Save and Edit, and the change request is now added. Scrolling down, the default task is visible. This needs to be scheduled for a technician to visit. A schedule displays on the screen. The change request is scheduled against a technician. The operator navigates back to the change request. It has been decided that while the technician is visiting, that the personal data held by the control centre should be checked, as the last check was over 12 months ago. The operator scrolls down the request screen and adds a task for the technician to complete. The task chosen is a data review for the service user. This can be seen above the appointment task. The operator scrolls down the screen and saves the request. From the Service Manager home screen, Service Agreements and Workspace is selected. Workspace is where all requests are managed. The workspace opens. There is a basic search and an advanced search. In the advanced search, there are useful search options for the management of requests. We want to search for pending change requests. A selection is made and then search is selected. In the results are all the pending change requests, and at the bottom is the change request that has just been created. This can be edited and managed from here. The technician, while working remotely, will access Service Manager and from the home screen select the schedule and open the planner. On the planner, the technician finds their name and navigates to the relevant appointment, opens the appointment, and selects the request link. The change request presents on the screen. There are a number of actions that the technician will carry out. To make the changes, the technician will scroll to the bottom of the request screen and select Edit. The technician will not be able to complete the request until the tasks have been completed. The maintenance appointment task is recorded as completed. The data review task requires the client's data to be checked and amended. Complete task form is selected. The form populates on the screen, and the technician will now check through known information, correct if wrong, and record new information if not known. A change to mobility keyword is made before selecting Complete and clicking Save. The technician navigates back to the request. navigates down, and completes the data review task. Records any notes as required. Navigates to the bottom of the request screen and selects Complete Request. Completes any required information before saving again. The request saves and the technician is returned to the request screen where the change request can be seen as completed. From the Service Manager home screen, select Operational Reports. From the list of reports, select Requests versus Targets. This reports on request information. The report displays and various columns with filters and column sorts can be seen. Scroll across and back to see further columns of information. Also an option to only show required columns. Request type filter. Change selected and request state closed. The service user who has just had a change request completed can be seen with various columns of information. An export option is present. Selecting this produces a CSV file. To create a change request, first we need to go to the service agreement of the client. Once we have searched the correct service agreement, we select Request and click Add. The request can be assigned at this point, if required, to a team or staff member. We can also change the priority from normal to urgent. We need to select a task type, and these can be customized to suit the needs of the customer. In this instance, we are going to select Maintenance Task, and we need to give a cause for the request, and again, these can be customized. If we use the Save and Edit tab, then it will go straight to the request. This task can now be scheduled by clicking the ellipsis symbol, which looks like 3 dots, and then we select Schedule the task in the planning board. This takes us to the schedule, where we can navigate the date we want to schedule the task for. We can then select the task from the working list and drag into the appropriate time slot on the required team or employee. This schedule can be viewed by all members of the team, and the task can be viewed and selected, and if needed, the time, date, and the employee that the task is assigned to can be changed from this window as shown. In this example, we are changing the date to the next day by selecting the calendar, choosing the new date required, and selecting Apply. The schedule can be viewed and edited by any members of the team, either office-based or out in the field. We can use the calendar to go to the new date we selected, and we can see the task is now there. These tasks can be colour-coded to suit the customer's needs, and once completed, they turn grey, so managers can easily see when wardens out in the field are completing their tasks. On the day this task is scheduled, the warden can double-click to open the task. The details of the service user are shown. By clicking onto Request, we can view, edit, and complete the task as necessary. The task status is showing as scheduled, but if we click the three dots, we can mark the task as completed as shown, and then a pop-up window will appear to confirm the completion of the task. Once the status of the task shows completed, the overall request can also be completed as shown here. A pop-up window will appear where we can select a resolution before finally selecting Complete Request. When a call is presented in PNC, a call operator can answer either by selecting the call from the call queue, using Fast Key F3, or by clicking the Select Call icon. PNC has the functionality to add notes once on a call. On the summary page, click Add Notes for the resident required. There is a drop-down of categories of notes, depending on what you're recording. Here we choose Resident Notes and click Create on the bottom left of the screen. In the subject bar, we can free type the subject and then put any notes in the box as shown. We can also add in a deletion time and date for the note. And the notes have been created. While still on the call, we can dial out to resident contacts by right-clicking on the phone number and selecting Phone. This would automatically put the initial alarm call on hold, and once the second call is ended, the initial call would automatically be unheld. Emergency services can be called by using the dial-out option as shown. In some ARCs, operators can choose to create an Emergency Service 999 as a resident contact, and then it will be displayed with the other contacts. We are using Service Manager to add a new service user. First, we select Referrals and Add Referral. We can choose a referral template. These templates can be made and are bespoke to each customer's requirements on the information required at the referral stage. We select the appropriate scope and then start to fill in the information. Here, we are using fictitious data to demonstrate. Service Manager can record the customer reference number. A second resident can be added at this point, but also can be added once a service agreement has been created. We are now continuing to fill out the resident's details, including address. We can select which organisation referred the service user, and these can be configured to any organisations the customer works with, or we can select self-referral. The referral date and priority are selected. The referral cause can be configured to the reasons the customer uses, and then is reportable. An install task can be added, and the tasks again can be created and bespoke to add any forms the customer currently uses at installation. These grey bars can be added to capture information required at this stage in the process, such as contacts, other services, and keywords. When we press Validate, we then go to a matching page. If any of the personal details match, such as name, date of birth, address, then it will show here. This stops creating duplicate service agreements. If there are no other matches, then we can go ahead and create the agreement. Once the service agreement is created, we can view the summary page and see all the details we have just added. We can see here that a second resident has been created and linked with this service agreement. We could add a second resident here if it wasn't done at the referral stage. This video is to show how a user is decommissioned in Service Manager. First, we need to search for the service agreement we want to decommission. We do this by clicking Service Agreements and Search. We can enter the service user's name and click their agreement until we get to their summary page. Next, we click on the icon that looks like a person with an X. This will open a decommission request, so we need to add a task. Here we add a decommission task, but other tasks can be added. We need to give a cause, and these causes can be configured to the terms the customer would use. As we scroll down the request, we can see if there are any linked agreements and what items of stock are at the property. On this screen, we need to click Save and Edit. The stock needs to be allocated back into a store. Stores can be called whatever the customer wants them to be called. Here, we are using the example of Warden's van. This needs to be done on each piece of equipment. If required, the task can then be scheduled or can be marked as complete before the request is completed. Once the stock has been deallocated to a store and the task has been completed, the request can be completed by clicking Complete Request. The decommission is now complete.